So, almost a year ago, I made a little video on this once actor's YouTube channel. The video was called Doctor Who Isn't Too Political, You Are. And I basically just called out all the people saying Doctor Who has gone woke. But not long after releasing that video, I was unfortunately sent into a coma for several months by the woke mind virus. Which is why I've not been around. But I've woken up now, I'm back, stronger than ever in fact. So playtime is over, chumps. It's time to put on your big boy pants and listen to what I've got to say. I was going to make this video a long time ago, but then life happened. And I basically just want to go through some of the comments on that video I made, especially in hindsight of having a brand new series with the new Doctor. And I kind of just want to read through some of them and see if people's thoughts have changed in the comments of this video. Complaints about being too political means the writing sucks. Doctor Who has always been political, but when it's well written nobody minds because they understand the point. Russell T Davies is a great writer, I agree, and his political stories are good stories. Chibnall is a bad writer and his political stories are awful stories. I mean, yeah, something I said in that video is that oftentimes the problem isn't that it's suddenly more political than it has been, but that you don't like the writing style. I'm not going to comment on Chibnall's writing because, you know, I think everyone can agree Chibnall's a very successful writer. I love Broadchurch, which I think Chibnall wrote, and I loved a lot of the Jodie Whittaker era of the show. It's interesting to consider what the problem really is. Is it that it's too political? Is it the writing? Or is it the fact that the politics you're seeing isn't your politics and is in fact a different viewpoint, which has been the consistent sort of alignment of the show for its entire history? People were saying that the show had gone woke back when Bill joined the cast and complained about having a lesbian character shoved in their face. She mentions it like all of 3 times throughout the entire run. Meanwhile on Torchwood there is a full episode that is just gay sex scenes and no one had an issue with it then. I think when there is a show like Doctor Who and it has a huge audience of children, a lot of these people will see someone like a queer character, an LGBT character, and see their presence as inherently sexual when they're really just existing and being there like they are there in the real world. And the whole purpose of drama is to reflect the world right back at us. Yeah, I think it says more about the people making those wild accusations of things being shoved down your throats than it actually says about the show. Because Bill was just there. Bill just happens to be, it was just a character who happened to be lesbian. Yeah, so it's interesting. It is interesting. Also one of my favourite series of the show. I love series 10. I've made a whole video about it. So well put. Thank you. I've had so many arguments with Doctor Who quote-unquote fans who say it's gone woke. Then I bring up the many queer characters, Captain Jack being a key argument as he's been in the show since 2005 in season 1 and as recent as season 12, and Martha, the first black companion in 2007, has always been there, and the political issues being explored in Classic Who you mentioned drive this point home. This show's not gone woke, people have become more aware of it, and some of those people don't like it. Ridiculous claim, I agree. A lot of that has probably got something to do with the way politicians have weaponized the idea of wokeness recently and tried to turn it into this crazy threat that it isn't. Because if you know what woke means, if you know the background of that word, then there is no way to angle it in a way where being woke is a bad thing. Because if you know what woke means and you claim to be anti-woke, you're claiming to be ignorant. That's what that means. Wokeness is awareness. And it's like I say in that video again, it's funny how this kind of inclusion and diversity only becomes a problem when it's the main role. You know what I mean? It's interesting, so I'm saying. I'm someone who watched the Classic Who back in the day. I'm also a lifelong conservative, and you're right, the problem isn't the show. Doctor Who has always been political and often more overtly political than it is now. I absolutely agree. It is pretty clear a lot of these anti-woke criticisms are coming from the conservative side of things. So it's interesting to see that there are conservatives who recognise that this isn't new, this is just part of the DNA of this show. Yes, this makes perfect sense, thank you. There were so many lovely comments on this video. I appreciate the lovely comments on this video. It was really motivating. It's just a shame I got put in that coma thanks to my woke mind virus. But I'm back. I'll keep making videos again, probably. You guys know the difference between the story incorporating themes that political bent and making politics come first and trying to build a story around it. I shouldn't know your politics as the writers by the first episode. This is something I just disagree on a media industry level. I think all TV shows, to some extent, have a political leaning, and I think that's perfectly okay. I think shows having a political and sociological... Nope, wrong word. A political and I think it's okay if I know the writer's political leanings by the first episode. I think that's quite common, and I think that's fine. You know, shows can have a political voice. Doctor Who always has had one. It tells stories about humanity and culture. Of course it's going to be political a lot of the time. People just don't like that it goes against their political views. I don't particularly like Jodie Whittaker's Doctor because of the writing for the last couple of seasons, but I was initially excited about her run. And don't like to say I don't like recent Doctor Who because a lot of people think I'm criticising the politics, when really I just feel that the show has lost a lot of what I liked about it. Great video, and I'm glad to see a lot of people appreciate the political undertones. Thank you for that bit at the end, and that's fine. Not everyone's gonna like every era of this show, you know? The reason Doctor Who lasts so long, the reason I love it so much, is because the show regenerates just as the Doctor does. Just as the cast and crew does, and all of that stuff. Every era of the show is distinct in many ways, it always evolves, and that is what's beautiful. And that is why the show's lasted this long. The politics of the show is one of the very few things that have been very consistent about this ever-changing show. So it's hilarious that it only becomes a problem when the lead role is being played by a woman or a person of colour. I 100% agree with you, people should stop being such Daleks and Cybermen. Absolutely. All those things you said seem to be a part of the show since the classic Doctor Who. Absolutely, as well. So yeah. Stop being such Daleks, guys. I don't think it's so much that the shows have gotten political. I agree with you, they have always been that way, but that writing terribly integrates with the politics so much that they stand out like a sore thumb every episode. It gets repetitive after a while. I like my stories to be about something more than just politics, you know. Totally. Absolutely. Yeah, I think a lot of it does come down to the writing. I mean, I'm curious where, because there's some people who say, oh, it's been getting woke since Peter Capaldi's run. But what they're really talking about is there is a lesbian companion. And a couple episodes about capitalism. It's just these characters, these diverse characters are at the forefront. It seems like for some people that's when it becomes a problem, which is interesting. A lot of people just don't like Jodie Whittaker's era's writing. Fair. If you don't like it, you don't like it. I'm curious to see more about what people think of this newest series. So I might make a follow-up video. So in the comments, give me your thoughts about this, the new series maybe. Do you think it's better or worse if you didn't like the last era? Let me know what you think. Yeah, I'm gonna wrap this up now. This is just a short video, but I'm back. I'm back from a coma. Yeah, I might make some more videos. Let me know what you want me to do. Bye bye.